Michael Lunsford here, Citizens for a New Louisiana. You know, it's funny, I've got all these phone calls. May 5th was was another regular meeting, but they called an executive session. That means they turn off the cameras, they tell everybody to leave, or they go into a back room and discuss amongst themselves some issues they're having. And so I get all these phone calls. What was the executive session about? Well, if you remember, April 21st, that's the same one where all this bottle arts foolishness was going on. They tried, or Pat Lewis tried multiple times to go into executive session, had to be reminded, hey, you can't do that. You have to announce that you plan to go into an executive session. I don't know why they bother, because no one can listen to it anyway, but I guess they did the announcement. They had their executive session, but the April 21st meeting, they went into a little bit of detail about what that session was about. Now, I've had to choke it way down. It was like half an hour's worth of discussions. But here are some of the pertinent talking points. So check it out. I'm going to break in here in a minute and kind of tell you a little bit else about what else is going on.
Ms. Cook.
That actually 3.9 section, the phrase that see that all laws and provision of this charter, that particular phrase there, it acts the city council and or the parish council subject to the mayor's president's direction and supervision are faithfully executed. We're referring to any laws that have been put into place by the councils. So if there is a law that we have put into place, the mayor's duty is to faithfully execute those laws, because we make the laws and he basically is there to enforce that they are executed. So I guess I guess I want to know what the clarification on this president's direction and supervision. What does that mean?
It's because we have a form of government where the executive branch operates the government, and they direct how each of the department works, including the legal department.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay.
But there's a gray area, though. If there is a law that has been already voted on and is in place,
Okay.
at what point can he decide, or the executive, branch decide that I'm not going to enforce that law? The elephant in the room, the EDDs. It was basically, there was a submission done by Mike Hebert that was basically addressed the statute that was incorrect. And so he wrote a submission. It was filed. It was a $10,000, legal fees were put into this particular submission. And then we decided to pull it, which I guess part of my disappointment is also in our transparency that we talk about. We should have been notified that that was even on the table to be pulled. From where my complaint is just the transparency of it, that, it was, we were in the suit. I mean, we should have been notified. It's not like you're telling somebody that's not involved with it. We were involved in it. And the fact that, there was already a submission, a summary judgment put into effect, spent with our taxpayer monies, but then we pull it. So I guess in my disappointment in the transparency of it, I guess that would be the only thing I'm suggesting, that if you are representing us as well, that in the future, I would appreciate that if there's going to be a change in our legal representation based on something dealing with our councils, that we would be given a little bit of information or a heads up. Is that fair, or is that?
That's fair, but there's hundreds of matters currently pending in the legal department. I think it's over 800 right now.
Addressing where we're involved in it, where the city council is involved based on an ordinance that we've passed?
Certainly. Lafayette Consolidated Government, some of them involve ordinances, some involve laws. Some have not risen to the level of a lawsuit as matters, but there are hundreds of lawsuits.
I understand that. I guess I'm just, looking for a little verification that we have an attorney. So we have an attorney. We have an attorney. Okay. Well, that makes me feel better. That's all I needed to know.
So this is one of my favorite things about the council. And if you go look at these, or you go to council meetings on a regular basis, you'll start to pick up on the fact that the councilmen have absolutely no idea what's going on. There are 800 lawsuits. So Nanette now wants to approve the position on each and every lawsuit. Now, obviously, after finding out there are 800, maybe she's reconsidered that. But what's interesting is the question that she asked, and it took 15, 20 minutes to get to the point that she never really got to. Glenn Lazard came behind her and asked the question again in a way to get the answer that Net had been looking for, but was unable to get out of legal counsel. So here, check out the answer to the question, which is, do you represent the city mayor or do you represent the city council? And the answer is yes, but here what he has to say.
Under the charter, that rests with the executive branch, and specifically Section 2-06B prohibits the council from directing the legal. So then we have to go back. That's the most specific language in the charter, which prohibits the council from getting involved. So if the council feels strongly, then they're going to have to go back and apply 403E and hire special counsel, and then the courts will bear it out.
The mayor's responsibility or his duty would be to enforce the laws of the city, correct?
Not to enforce, to uphold.
Okay, to uphold, to basically recognize that they're a law. So if we pass an ordinance, which, you know, by standards is a law, his duty is to uphold that law. Is that right? I mean,
Yes.
Would that be in general? We could say that? So in his upholding the laws in the community, if we pass that stupid law, he would, as the mayor, have to uphold that law because it's on the books.
You'd have to defend that law.
Yeah, defend, whatever.
That's the gist of it. Nanette thinks that any stupid law that the council passes, her words, not mine, her words, if the council passes a stupid law, the mayor president is obligated to enforce or defend that law. And in this case, what this was about was those 5 economic development districts, those 5 taxing districts that were just announced. We put it on our Facebook page. Merchants are already getting letters in the mail letting people know they have to start charging an extra 1 or 2% tax on any customers they have. And it's all done by fiat. The Home Rule Charter says you can't do it. The state constitution says you can't do it, but there's a subordinate revised statute they found that they've been squeaking this stuff through that loophole. Raise your taxes through a loophole. That's just terrible. So look, Nanette's been pretty responsive on our Facebook page. She's also been responsive via email and other methods of communication. Call her up. Ask her why she's passing these 5 taxes, number 1, and number 2, why the people shouldn't be allowed to have a say about it.